We're all here today because we care deeply about the health and well-being of not just these kids up here, but for all kids like them all across the country. And clearly we're determined to finally take on one of the most serious threats to their future, and that's the epidemic of childhood obesity in America today. And obviously it's an issue of great concern to me, not just as a First Lady, but as a mother. And today, it's time for a moment of truth for our nation. It's time for a wake-up call for all of us. It's time for us to be really honest with ourselves about how we got here. Because the truth is, our kids didn't do this to themselves. Our kids don't decide what's served to them at school or whether there's time for gym or recess. Our kids don't choose to make food products with tons of sugar and sodium and supersized portions and then to have those products marketed to them everywhere they turn. And no matter how much they beg for pizza, fries, and candy, ultimately they are not and should not be the ones calling the shots at dinner time. We're in charge. We make these decisions. Let's move to offer parents the tools and information they need and they've been asking for to make healthy choices for their kids. We've been working with the FDA and several manufacturers and retailers to make our food labels more customer-friendly, so people don't have to spend hours squinting at the words they can't pronounce to figure out whether the food they're buying is healthy or not. In fact, just today, the nation's largest beverage companies announced that they'll be taking steps to provide clear, visible information about calories on the front of their products, as well as on vending machines and soda fountains. And this is exactly the kind of vital information parents need to make good choices for their kids. But let's remember that 31 million American children participate in the federal school meals program. And many of these kids consume as many as half of their calories daily at school. And what we don't want is the situation where parents are taking all the right steps at home, and then their kids undo all that work when they go to school with salty, fatty foods in the school cafeteria. So let's move to get healthier food into our nation's schools. That's the second part of this initiative. We'll start by updating and strengthening the Child Nutrition Act, the law that sets nutrition standards for what our kids eat at school. And we propose a historic investment of an additional $10 billion over 10 years to fund that legislation. But we know that eating right is really only part of the battle. Experts recommend that children get 60 minutes of active play every single day. And if this sounds like a lot, consider this. Kids today spend an average of 7.5 hours a day watching TV, playing on the cell phone, computers, video games, and only a third of high school students get the recommended level of physical activity. But just think about the ripple effect. When kids use this knowledge to make healthy decisions for the rest of their lives. Now think about the effect it's going to have on every aspect of their lives, every bit of it. Whether they can keep up with their classmates on the playground and stay focused in the classroom, whether they have the self-confidence to pursue the careers of their dreams and then the stamina to succeed in those careers, whether they'll have the energy and the strength to teach their own kids how to throw a ball and ride a bike, and whether they'll live long enough to see their grandkids grow up, maybe even their great-grandkids too. This is our obligation, not just as parents who love our kids, but as citizens who love this country. So let's move. Let's move. Let's get this done.